afternoon, guys. This is our first podcast of 2019, and it's a real pleasure for our podcast number 6 to have the South Yorkshire Police Commissioner Alan Billings, which is a real honour and a privilege to have you. How are you doing, Alan?
Well, very pleased to be here. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, fantastic. Alan has sponsored the work that we're doing here. The South Yorkshire Police Commissioner have given us a grant of £5,000 to get some portable floodlights, which has been an absolute godsend for us, and I'm so grateful to you. Really appreciate your support, your willingness to help Graham Thorpe from Love Life UK Outreach. Thank you, people in the community. So actually tonight, we start a girls football club, so we've got a few girls from the community and some other parts of Barnsley that are going to come tonight, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, I was really pleased to hear that about the girls joining in, because we funded 1 or 2 small groups, football clubs, boxing clubs, martial arts, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Very rare to find girls involved, so that's really good news, I think.
Yeah, really good. So I've had some messages. Yeah, my daughter's come in. So yeah, that's going to be good.
So you don't know till they turn up how many? Or
no, we don't know. But I've had quite a good bit of feedback online, which is really good. And so it'll be ongoing weekly between the ages.
Is there an age? I can say
yeah, between 9 and the age of 9 and 11, which is a decent age. And so hopefully we're going to get a good feedback, and we're going to have a really good club. And so I mean, normally when we have guests, it's always about sports. And so you don't like football.
I didn't say I didn't like football.
That's true.
I'm not a great football fan.
Right.
I mean, the idea of turning out on a Saturday and standing or sitting in the cold is not my idea of pleasure. So yeah, in terms of sports, I mean, cricket has been my thing, but football is a passion across South Yorkshire, and it's a crucial way, I think, of engaging young people. There are so many, particularly boys, but boys and girls we know now, who want to play the game, want to be involved in it. And from my perspective, any group like yours here that you've got going, in areas where we know it's very easy for people to slither into antisocial behaviour, small crime and eventually big crime, to have them doing something that's good, useful, in the community in this way is really good, so I'm very happy to support it.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I mean, I always say football is a universal language.
So it seems, yes.
It really is. And so you're a cricket lover? See, I don't know anything about cricket.
Well, I am a cricket lover, and I'm so old now. Of course, I remember the days when you listened on the radio first, or the wireless as we called it in my younger days, the radio, and then you watched it on television. And now, of course, unless you're buying one of the packages, you can't get it on terrestrial television. So I've been really miserable for the last few years, because I read about what the England cricket team is doing in some part, but I can't see them anymore, and that's really annoying.
Who's your favourite cricketer?
Well, I'm from Sheffield, or I live in Sheffield, so of course we've had, Joe Root currently, and the Root family seem to have turned out 1 or 2, and Michael Vaughan, the England captain before that. So Sheffield's done very well. In fact, in terms of sport, I mean, Sheffield's really done fantastic. I mean, Jessica Ennis-Hills in athletics, and Seb Coe, the Lord Coe as he now is, and his athletics day. So Sheffield's done very well, and I think the commitment of the local authority, the public sector, to bringing them on has been hugely important. I mean, Joe Root went to one of the local schools not far from where I live, so it's really good when schools continue that sporting tradition, because they've been under squeeze as well, and often it's been cricket, and my other passion, I'm afraid, is the other game, the odd-shaped ball, rugby football. They've often been squeezed out of the curriculum, so it's good to see them, people like that come through.
No, fantastic. Did you see the news recently about Dorothy Hyman receiving that award?
I did. I went to the Pride at Barnsley Awards when she, big occasion, glittering occasion, quite in the Metrodome, and she had a Lifetime Achievement Award at the end of this, and she made a fantastic speech. I thought one of the best speeches of the evening, actually, in which she paid tribute to the people of Barnsley for their support, but
Yeah.
but still lives here. Still lives in the community.
Yeah,
An
fantastic.
unspoilt person and really nice person. So that was very good. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really good that Stephanie was kind of fighting her cause, the MP,
Yes.
and she got her.
Yes.
Was it the what do you call it?
I don't know.
The award that you get, the trophy.
Oh right. Okay. Yes.
But yeah,
Yes.
so it was really good. So I
Yeah.
was really pleased for her. I've always, while I was driving here, and obviously we do this podcast, we ask questions. I always ask questions, so people talk to me about my football career. You know, how did you get into football? How did you get into?
How did you get into football? Just a matter of interest for me.
Just, I love scoring goals.
Oh, well.
So I used to play in the garage, on the estate. I used to kick the ball in my living room. From a very young age.
Please your parents.
Oh, I smashed some house windows. And so everything was football, football, football. So I had a real passion. I always tell people you got a good indication of what you could become in life by your passion. And I was really passionate about scoring goals. And thank God I went on to become a professional football player. But so for you, how did your journey take in terms of obviously being a policeman? I don't know, what's the journey, how do you progress, how did you get to become South Yorkshire Police Commissioner? Yeah.
Well, you get elected. It's an elected post, so all across South Yorkshire people voted for me, or not. I mean, some did and some didn't. Some didn't turn out, which is annoying because you want a good turnout.
Yeah.
But that's 14 constituencies across South Yorkshire, Barnsley, Rotherham, Sheffield, Doncaster, so you're the Police and Crime Commissioner for the whole thing. I'm not a policeman. My job is to hold the police force to account. So I collect the money for them, I get government grants and the council tax, that all comes to me. Then I allocate the money to policing. I do other things as well. I commission services for the victims of crime, so there's a bit of money goes on that. And of course the cheque that we've given you, a little bit of money goes to small grant schemes as well. So I collect the money in and allocate it in that way. And I also produce something called the Police and Crime Plan, which sets out the priorities for the police for the coming year. So I have to go around Grimethorpe today, somewhere else tomorrow. I go around the communities listening to what they say about what they want from their police, the policing service, and then I have to persuade, talk to the Chief Constable about how we enable that to happen in South Yorkshire. So I produce the Police and Crime Plan, sets out the priorities for the police for the year, and then for the rest of the year they account to me for what they do. So a little bit of old-fashioned. I meet regularly with the Chief Constable and the senior officers. We sit round a table and we have informal conversation. I will go back and talk to them about Grimethorpe and all that I've discovered here, what the needs here are. And then I have once a month I have a very formal committee meeting when all the senior officers sit round the table and I formally hold them to account. And the press come to that and the public come to that, or some of the public come to that. So it's an open meeting. So that's what I do. But you asked me how I got there.
How did you get there?
Well, I got here by accident, as we all do. I mean, I thought I'd retired. I'm a priest, an Anglican priest.
Oh, we're going to talk about that one after.
Oh, right, okay. Well, you knew about that. But I've been an academic as well, so I combined the two. And then I retired, moved to Sheffield, and the post became vacant, shall we say. And I was asked if I would stand for the job, and I thought, well, no, and then I was persuaded to do it. So I've done it for half a term, and now the full term, it finishes in 2020, and then I have to decide whether to stand again for election.
Will you stand again?
Well, I've said I will make a decision about that, but not yet, because I need to keep people guessing. I need to keep the police on their toes. They mustn't think that I'm going. They've got to think I'm going to be there in a year's time. So
fantastic. So you mentioned you're a priest.
I am.
So wow. So the journey of being a vicar, priest.
I was a vicar for a time.
So what was the journey? You know, how did you become a vicar, and what made you want to become a vicar?
Well, I always thought I was going to be a teacher. Probably. My own background is a working class community, not unlike Grimethorpe in many ways, but in an industrial city. So the house I was born into was a 2 up, 2 down. No inside toilet, no bathroom, only one water tap in the house. That was in the kitchen. Coal fires. So it was quite a poor family that I came from. And my father worked in a factory and said that he came home one day. I was 10. I remember it very vividly. And he said, I want you to come to the factory where I work
Right.
tomorrow, which I did. I went to see him there, and he showed me this, they made typewriters, it's called the Imperial Typewriter Factory, and he had a bench, a bit like this bench that we're sitting at, and there were the typewriters that came to him. He was at the end of the process, so they'd made the typewriter, and his job, which he did for 42 years, was to take a sheet of paper, put it into the typewriter, and type a sentence. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, which has got every letter of the alphabet in. And then he'd look along that line and see which keys were out of line, and he'd bend them and twist until they were all in line, and off it went to the shops to be sold. And he did that for 40 odd years. But in those days, people used to smoke very heavily, and I remember looking down the floor of the factory where he worked, and my eyes were streaming with the blue woodbines they smoked, with the smoke just got to my eyes. And he said, this bench here, this is where you'll be in a few years' time, because you left school then when you were 15. And I thought, oh no, I'm not. I've got to find a way out of this. Yeah. And education was my way out, so I made sure I, in those days, passed the 11 plus, went to the grammar school and eventually went to university. Fantastic. But I thought, I mean, my horizons were very limited. I only knew about factories and schools, and I thought teaching is what I'm going to do. And but I went to a local church and greatly admired my vicar there, who was a pastoral worker, a social worker, as well as doing services on a Sunday. But he knew everybody in the community, and he was with them when they came into the world, he was with them when they went out of the world, and I thought, this is what I want to do. So I read theology and philosophy at Cambridge University, and I went to a couple of others, and so all my life I've combined being a vicar and teaching academically as well.
So do you still go to church now?
Yes, I was taking a service on Sunday.
Right, fantastic.
Had the Lord Lieutenant in the congregation, which was a surprise, but very nice to see him, because you never know who's going to turn up on these occasions.
Right, yeah.
And I did midnight mass at Christmas, and that was great too, because again, a service like that at Christmas time, lots of people come who don't normally come, and there were visitors then, this is in Sheffield, from all over the world. They'd come for midnight at Christmas. That was really nice. So I enjoy that.
Oh, fantastic. What's your favourite Bible verse?
Oh, well, there's just so many, aren't there? I'm a theologian, so I'm afraid I've got the whole of the Bible in front of me there, but well, you tell me what yours is.
My favourite Bible verse, I always remember this from a kid, is John 3:16.
Ah, why does that surprise me? Okay.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son.
Yes.
Whoever would believe in him would not perish but have everlasting life. I've always remembered that verse from
I think
a kid.
that's a lovely verse. There's a hymn, I remember taking a party of theological students, ordinands, who were going to be priests once, to a meeting, and someone said to them, not what's your favourite Bible verse, but what's the line of your favourite hymn? No, they asked them to sum up their faith in a hymn, which was quite a nice way of doing it. Yeah. And he said the hymn that has the verse in it that says, "Love to the loveless shown, that they might lovely be." Right. That's the heart of the gospel, he said. Love to the loveless shown, that they might lovely be. And I thought that was a great line.
Fantastic. Well, it's been really nice having you. Really, it's been great. I go to church. Faith plays a really important part of my life, and so. Where
do you go? In Barnsley?
Yeah, I go to a church in Barnsley, just local, and so there's a group of us that meet, we gather, we pray, and we pray for those in authority. So you're on our prayer list.
Oh, that's good to know.
So we really do. So myself, amongst other fellow Christians that I know in the Barnsley community, we're praying for you. And again, just thank you for your support. It's much appreciated. I always tell people this: teamwork makes the dream work. And it really, sometimes we say things as cliches, but I really do mean it. You need people's help. I definitely do for what I'm doing in Grownthal. I need support, and within the community I've met some wonderful people, within the council, Ciswo, yourself. There's so many different people that have contributed. Becky, who's filming the podcast. There's so many people that contribute to what we're doing, and it means a lot to me, because I really do understand the power of a team. And so,
well, I think in Grindford, it's always worth remembering that from the days of the old mining community, there's always been a community spirit.
absolutely.
Which, yes, when the mines went, it was in danger, but you can revive it, and people can revive it.
Oh, there's some wonderful people in this community. I've met some really good people. And you're contributing to that by what you've done for us. I'm looking forward to the girls' club tonight. I'm looking forward to launching the boys' club, which will be on a Friday night. So hopefully those kids that are out there running right, they're going to come here and play some football
I hope that's,
on
yes,
a Friday
really
night.
good. Yes.
Which should be really good.
Nice.
So thank
Nice
you
to
so
meet you.
much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Good to meet you.
And God bless, and you take care.
And you.